Me, being a DM in my world of Christiana, I will let the players introduce themselves from bottom to top, and then I believe Sam is doing the recap. So away you go. Recap. So away you go. Recap. So
Hi there, I'm Colin. I'm playing Lavinia, the Titan Cleric.
Hi, I'm Traz. I'm playing Draxis, the Gemstone Dragonborn Wizard.
Sam, I'm playing Nico, the Elf Barbarian. Scott the First.
Hey, I'm Scott, and I am playing Cecilia, the Tiefling Warlock.
What's up, party peoples? Azuzu playing Ishida Yuichi, the Astral Monk.
And I'm Scott the Second, and I'm playing Russell Lee's Furball Druid.
How did I mess that up? Sorry, Sam.
That's alright. I'll go ahead and do the recap from last week. We kind of woke up in the kind of dungeon that we had to fight against Jane Eyre and the sorceress's sisters. After we were searching for the children, we only found one, so we continued to search the cabins. Didn't find any, but we did find some zombies, some skeletons. Jax has found a goblet that Russell drank from. Took us to a room with a ghost who was guarding the tomb of some kind of old noble family. We Some of us paid our respects. Nico and Draxis kind of stayed out, talked to the ghost, got some spells. Everybody kind of went back to town, told the guards kind of what had happened, got payment. Everybody kind of split up and did their own thing for a little bit. Then we reconvened at the tavern in the evening. We leveled up to level 4. And I think that's everything.
yep, pretty much. So you've all reconvened in the tavern. I believe some went to bed, some didn't, I believe, when we left off. So is there anything anyone would like to do during the night? Or before they go to bed?
Is it like full on nighttime now, or is it just like late evening?
Late evening coming on to nighttime.
Because obviously Drax has probably spent most of the afternoon doing his transcribing and everything. While he's been there, would he have noticed? Let me just double check her name. I think it is Lady Gwyneth. Yes, Lady Gwyneth. From a few mornings ago, she was talking to Lord Winter. By any chance, have I noticed her come in?
Make me a perception check.
Would I be alright to use Spyros as Draxus is working?
Sure. No, you haven't noticed her. Tavern's been fairly busy. Everyone's seeming to have a bit of a celebration, considering they found out who was taking the kids and it seems to have stopped. But you don't notice her in there, no.
Fair enough. Draxus and clear up his stuff, and yeah, he'll go. He'll just go up to bed. If everybody else is already gone or not.
Cool. Anyone else for anyone else?
No, Ishida would have gone to bed already.
Okie pokey. So you all sleep the night through. The sound of the hustle and bustle downstairs slowly lulls you all to sleep. You sleep all very comfortably, and then you wake up the next morning. And it's a bright sunny day outside. Sun's just sort of turning up, no clouds in the sky. And the inn is fairly quiet downstairs. You can't really hear much noise down there. But you're all in the shared room, as you have been. Ladinia, you do notice on your side table there is a bracelet made of blue sort of tulip looking flowers with slight white edges around them.
Would I have heard anybody putting it down overnight, or has it just appeared?
No, you were sleeping fairly soundly last night, so you didn't hear anyone putting it there.
I'm just going to pick it up and look at it quite closely, see if it has anything unusual on it.
Make me an investigation check.
Try that again.
I was going to say, why are you trying to intimidate the bracelet? Jesus. So you don't notice anything unusual about it. There's no markings from what you can see, although you do recognise the flowers it's made of. It's a flower called Saloon's Tears, and it tends to be found sort of on the edges of swamps and oceans and lakes, basically the edges of bodies of water.
So it's actually made of the flowers, or is it made of some material shaped like them?
No, it's
Can't
actually
remember.
made. It's actually made of the flowers.
Just have a look around, see if there's anybody new in the room, or it's just us. So
Make me a perception check. You don't see anyone new, but you don't see really many people. There's a couple of beds been slept in, but
Could I say that because Ishida trances, after he finishes his trance, he would have kind of gotten up maybe just before dawn and kind of just been outside practicing.
okay. So he's gone outside and he's training and doing his martial arts stuff. Anyone else doing anything in particular this morning while Lavinia is staring at her flower bracelet?
After you.
Drax is, funny enough, he's going to do something similar. He's going to take off his golden bracelet, hold it in his hand and start to spin it as an action to open it up, as other little circles start spinning inside it, opening it most of the way up, and he'll spend an hour spending one charge of the astral bracelet to find familiar and summon a secondary familiar.
Okay. I believe we agreed that the one from the bracelet wouldn't be a pseudo dragon; it would just be a normal familiar.
Yeah. So this one takes an hour. The energy builds up in the little orb. Now the bracelet is turned into, and after almost an hour, the energy comes out and pop, a small little bat appears.
Cool. Yep. Suddenly, bat in the room. Nico, did you want to do something?
Nico's just gonna get up and actually have some breakfast this morning. But he's gonna be just eating real small mouthfuls, kind of picking at it. Probably just gonna take all morning eating a plate of food.
Cool. And the barman makes sure you know it's on the house. You're not paying for anything anymore. You're a guest of the town for what you've done for them.
Bang in.
Russell, Cecilia, you doing anything this morning?
Probably breakfast and just
Ah.
after a certain conversation the night before.
Cool.
Russell is, as he does, snoring like a train going up a hill with the occasional murmured word and
Having a bit of a lay-in.
oh, it's so lovely to be soft. He may actually spend a wild shape and sleep as a cat.
Cool. So yep, where as each of you have woken up, you've noticed where Russell normally is. There's currently a cat, blue tinged fur, stripy, just curled up in his leaves, sleeping. So yep, after an hour, your bat is there. Draxus, do you do anything else, or do you walk downstairs?
Yeah, he heads downstairs, gets breakfast. Orders breakfast, goes to have a wash, but then realizes he's finished some studies and waves his hand and casts prestidigitation on himself, tidy himself up a bit, and goes and sits down, makes his cup of tea. He'll try the new herbs he got from the gentleman at the mixing pot. To remember to leave it a little bit longer than he normally should, and try the new tea out.
Mhm. So it's a weird tea when you drink it. It starts off fairly sweet, but there's a sort of a back note of savoury there, so it's a bit like salted caramel. But the salted part is slightly stronger than normal, but it's actually fairly pleasant.
He savours it and takes his time. Seeing Nico sort of picking his way through breakfast, he will have the bat land on his shoulder and just sit down next to him and start having his breakfast when it comes.
Nico just kind of look at the bat. cool bat. That's another one of yours.
Yes. Generally, the spell wouldn't work twice, but and he just hold his hand, pull his sleeve back a little bit to expose a golden bracelet. This handy little trinket we found might be of some use.
Nico, with a kind of small mouthful of food, will just put his hand up with his index finger and his little finger like metal horns. And carry on picking at his food.
I don't know how much we've got, if we've got anything left to do in the town. Artin asked for us to give a name before we leave. Then there's that woman back in the slums. I think she just wants to see Cecilia, but I don't know. But before we leave, I want to have a word with that Lady Gwyneth, the one that was talking with Lord Winter the other day.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one who put a reward out for searching for Clarkson. Supposedly he stayed with her the night before he disappeared. I believe they got a bit chummy or acquainted or something.
Well, then that's an absolute must before we leave. I'm ready to go there whenever you are. It's definitely an interesting lead.
She may not know anything, but there's no point in wasting this curiosity. Maybe he just used a spell on her or something.
Do you think it's worth bringing the rest of the group with us? You know, they might be able to glean something that we don't, or extract some sort of information that we can't. I mean, we're not exactly the friendliest looking duo.
No, Russell always seems to have a keen eye. I can tolerate him better than some of the others. But if you think it's kind to invite the others, but our business is our business, don't forget.
Well, that's where I'm in two minds. I mean, it's not a business I want out in the open, but equally, doing something as a group is good, but more so to the point. More eyes, more opinions, more personalities, more abilities. Anything really that we can use to gain an advantage over Clarkson.
So be it. They may be, even if they see something that we don't, at least it will help us out. The last thing we need is to walk in there and find out she's a proper acquaintance of him.
Exactly. So we've just, yeah, we all went to look for him. That's how we met. So we'll just use that as our, hey, let's at least follow up on this lead.
But saying that, how are you going to explain to the others about heading to Shutbear? Are you going to tell them the truth, or are you? Because I don't believe some of them will be too happy with the truth.
I'll tell them the truth in that there is some sort of gentleman using unsavory magic and the locals aren't happy.
Fair.
No, let's finish up and talk to the rest.
Yeah. Carry on, finish our breakfast, and wait for the rest to come down.
Okay. So by this point, Ashida has probably finished his training outside. So is he gonna go back in?
Yeah, I'll go back in, but I'll generally try to keep a bit of just try to be a bit low key.
Okay. Cecilia?
Once she's finished breakfast, she'll approach Draxus and Nico's table and say, "Well, I have a quick thing to do in the slums, if I remember. That's where she said it was. Yeah. Anyway, I might be gone for some bit unless one of you gentlemen decides to take a lady for a walk. Or if you're happy to wait here, I'll go and do it and be back as quick as I can in case the others are looking for me for anything."
How long are you gonna be? How long is this gonna take? You can't wait around all day.
Yeah, huff and puff a second. Probably the usual. Thank you very much. But say about an hour.
Yeah, I guess we can wait. Russell sleeps for ages, so we'll wait.
It's more in case her ladyship looking. I roll as I say her ladyship and just go is looking for me. But I shall be as quick as I can with this sort of thing. Again, if anyone wants to go for a walk, more than welcome. And just as we walking with the table, keep walking a subtle tap on the shoulder. Toe, Nico, sorry.
Oh,
You learn your bad habits.
yeah. I'll look at Draxus and just say, you mind if I escort the lady?
Dracula just sort of waves his hand a lot. Don't really care. Your business, your business. Just says, well, I've just going to pop to, I think it's Doc's shop to have a look, ask you some questions, but that shouldn't be a problem. I'll meet you back here in about an hour. And Draxus finishes off his breakfast and heads for Doc's.
Okay.
Yeah, Nico, just head with Cecilia.
Okay. So we will finish up in the inn with Russell and Ladinia.
I
Russell.
didn't visit for a while, but Marina just got dressed and headed down for breakfast. Just, not putting it on, but carrying up the powder.
Okay.
Russell will awake and, after resuming human form, packing his leaves, will head down and just grab a bit of breakfast.
Cool. Once again, the innkeep makes sure you're aware that there's no charge. You guys are all guests and will be whenever you return. Puts some porridge in front of you both.
Mr. Inky, I don't think I actually got your name.
Shorten to the barkeep.
Yes.
Okay. My name's Lasser. Run this place since I was fairly small. And you, I believe, are Russell.
Indeed I am. You wouldn't happen to have an oven back there that I could use by any chance?
I do. Can I ask what you're wanting it for?
It's my firm belief that people's demeanour is normally improved after the addition of a bit of tea and some good baking.
I'm happy to let you bake in my oven. let me come along and show you how it works and let you know roughly the temperature it's at. And he'll come to me when you finish your breakfast and we'll go.
Many thanks.
And he will leave you to your breakfast and he'll be behind the bar.
As we can't see anybody else apart from Rashid, I'm going to try and wave him over to find out where everyone else is.
I'll come over. I think you said Ishida. I couldn't hear you properly. I'll come over. I don't know where everyone else went. I've only just come back myself.
I don't suppose you saw who left this behind and she put the flower biscuit on the table.
Would I have seen who left it on the table, Becca?
No. If it was done while you were sleeping. Well, chancing.
No. Unfortunately not. Why?
It appeared on my bedside table. It just seems unusual, though rather fitting.
It could be someone tried to win your affection.
Suitors have always been few and far between with me, and I'm grateful for that. I am far too dedicated to my studies at the moment, but still, flattering.
Hmm. So what do you want to do today then? I don't necessarily have anything further to do in this town, but I don't particularly want to adventure by myself either.
Well, I did receive that letter from my mother, who vaguely asked me to visit my brother, but I'm not sure if this is a pressing matter. I would quite like to see him, but at the same time, I'm rather enjoying the company of everyone here, so I also hope matters are pressing with them.
Hmm. Where does your brother live? I see no reason why we can't complete two things at the same time.
He stays in a small seaside town, so near the coast. Russell, do you have any pressing matters that you need to attend to? Or would you be able to play a jaunt to the sea?
I'd be up for giving that a go. Just so long as. Oh, I need to check on that actually. Um, yeah, I'd be up for going to the sea so long as Samuel's settled.
So we shall check on Barrymore and see how things are going with him.
I cast a spell the other day that allowed a message to get to him. He's probably sent me one back. I'll need to go out and check.
I'll go with you guys wherever you feel you need to go. I don't have anything planned at the moment in this town.
So I'm just going to slip the bracelet on and finish breakfast.
Same for both Russell and Ishida. You can finish breakfast and then.
Russell will be nose deep in the porridge at this point, just
Cool.
hoovering up.
Yeah, I'll just finish our breakfast.
Okay, so we will pop outside to Cecilia and Nico then.
Just behind me, I see a little song to myself as I'm walking, and then notice Nico joining me a few paces behind me. Ah, so you've joined me after all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not doing anything else.
Just nod and start to keep walking going. So, you and Mr. Shaney. Can I just glance over my shoulder to you and go, how's that working out for you?
Fine. You and Miss Fish. How's that working out for you?
Swimmingly.
Oh, you'd probably see a smile for the first time on Nico's face.
As well as one can expect in these kind of circumstances. But yeah, so what's the kind of dynamic between you and Mr. Shaney anyway? Is it like partners in crime, boss employee? Okay, turn back Robert Lingo, lovers. Just kind of with a cocked face, just like, jokingly.
He's far too young. We were just um uh, we were just friends with a common goal. That's all. Just you know, scratch my back, scratch yours type of deal.
Just nodding along. Fair enough.
What about you and Lavinia? You just pop up out of nowhere, just at her beck and call.
Yeah, unfortunately, someone snaps their foot, and I just have to go and jump as high as I can. One of those. For now, anyway. You know how it can be with those noble types.
Yeah, I guess so. What's the deal with this woman you're going to see anyway? Were you trying to scam her or something?
Just turn with a shrug. She says she has something for me after what we did. Curiosity killed the cat. For a while, I was a suspect.
All right. Well, be interested to see what it is at least.
Yeah, as I say, curiosity.
Exactly. Where are you from anyway? Are you from the same place as Lavinia?
Can I have that kinda sideways hand wavy gesture? And from further up north, small fish. Originally from a small village just near the coast, but didn't quite work out in the long run. So after a while, ended up just traveling for a bit and ended up in the service of the kind of mock curtsy as a time I go her ladyship's extended service.
Fair enough. Well, you got any idea of where she's heading after this? Where you guys are heading after this?
We just have to see where the tide takes us. I know she has some issue with a sibling that she has to go deal with, and however that factors into things, we'll just need to see.
Alright. See how it goes.
Kind of oddly looking around, going, you know, we're not exactly the most inconspicuous bunch, but it's quite unusual for everyone just to be completely fine with, well, and you'll point to our horns.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a tree, a dragon with rocks in his head, a woman from the sea, and then Nico just kind of like gesture to his whole grotesque appearance. I don't think you've got too much to worry about. And I mean, Ishida fucking grows extra arms, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, now that you've mentioned him, and I'll step back so we're Christiana side by side. That one's worth a watch for, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, well, there's some sort of demon or something going on there. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yes.
I'll be interested to see how that.
But in, between you and I, Ellie and Andrew, I've tossed people overboard for less than what he said to me in that crypt. If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on him. Anything like that happens again, Nico just like finger across the neck.
You go low, I go high.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Yeah, let's help out good on him. And then we're gonna just like stroll towards this lady's house that we're heading off to.
Yep. So by this time, you've pretty much, excuse the cackling in the background if you can hear him. So by this time, you have pretty much reached Tara's house again, and you hear the hustle and bustle of children getting ready in the morning, and her trying to keep the peace. So do you go and knock on the door?
Yep, just a quick sort of like.
You'll hear the hustle and bustle still carry on, but she's going, "Children, behave! I need to go and get the door." And she'll come and open the door and go, "Oh, it's you! I'm so glad you came. Step inside a moment. Ignore the chaos." You would think she hadn't been away in almost. Anyway, she's causing havoc in the kitchen. If you would like to go and stay in there for a moment, I have something to give you as a thank you for what you did yesterday. And she will point to a little door. It's a tiny little house, and there's like 2 rooms. One is, she calls it a kitchen, but it's basically a living area. So, kitchen, lounge, dining room, bathroom.
Studio.
Yeah. And then the other side is a bedroom with one big bed and a little cot. But she points you to the living space and goes, "If you go in there with those 2, I'll just go and grab the item. Give me just a moment." So do you walk into the living area?
Yeah, and I'll just like gesture at Nico as like step in just a couple paces behind me.
Yeah, Nico just be keeping to himself, but kind of looking around, but staying quiet, head down.
Okay. The little girl will clock you. She was trying to feed her little brother. Wasn't going very successfully. There's more food everywhere else than there is in his mouth. But she'll clock you as you walk in, and you go, "Oh, yay! You've come to see me. Come to see me!" And she runs and sort of puts her arms around Cecilia's leg and just hugs you.
Kind of initial look of awkwardness as she just does, and then just kind of like pat her on the head, just like, yeah, of course I came to see you, yay. and then notice the sort of like state the younger brother must be in. Trouble feeding the little one?
He's so happy to see me that he's not eating, so he's throwing it everywhere. He hasn't learnt to actually put the food in his mouth yet. He's not that clever, he's only very small. But he'll get there, we all learn. And then she'll clock Nico behind you and go, oh, you came too! And also run and grab your leg and hug your leg.
Nico will just stay very still, not move, not say a word.
Traz, is the bat still on Nico's shoulder?
More than likely, yeah.
So she'll see she'll look up and she'll see the bat on your shoulder. Oh, you got a pet! That's awesome. Looks a bit like you, it's got the same colour. I want a pet, Mum won't let me have one though.
Yeah. They take a lot of looking after. There's a lot of poo involved.
That's like him though, and points to her little brother.
Yeah, you're probably right. One's enough. You don't need two pooing creatures around. One is you'll do alright with just the one for now.
I guess. She went, oh, I drew you something, and she'll run back over to the table and start moving papers and bits and bobs that are all laying over the table around till she pulls out a picture, and it's a very crudely hand-drawn child's picture of everyone. You could just about tell who people are, considering Nico's just black. You know Cecilia because she's got the horns. You can just about tell. And then there's Draxus, who's just purple dragon rather than a dragonborn, just a dragon. And Ladinia's there, and she looks like she's made of water. And Russell just looks like a bush. And then there's sort of... Yep, that's pretty much Nico right there. But yeah, and Ashida's there, just sort of this thin, sort of stick human figure with like what look to be clenched fists. But you're all standing there, and you can tell there's mum and her there as well. And so she hands it over to Cecilia and went, I drew it.
You're gonna get like not a serious look, but going, well, we need to fix one thing here.
What's that?
To take the kid over to the table and get like either a piece of chalk or crayon or anything that's lying around, and then just kind of add in the kid and the mum over in the corner.
Hey, that's us. And there's just a little crayon that she's been drawing with some crayons on the table.
And I go, there we go. Well, we have a full crew. And thank you. And just kind of like a little awkward pat in the head.
At that point, Terra has walked back in the room, and she goes, now, stop bothering them. Go back to, oh God, attempting to feed your brother. Let's try and keep the mess in that little area, though. Let's not spread it around the house, please. And the little girl will go, okay, Mum, and she'll run off over and start trying to feed the baby again. And Terra will look at Cecilia and go, it's not very much, but she said you reminded her of it was a ring gifted to us by her grandmother, her dad's mum. And she said you reminded her of it, so she wanted you to have it. So here, and she'll hand you a little ring box. Because it's not very much, but you got me out and you helped get her out, so we wanted to thank you.
Take the box, open it up.
So in it you see a little golden ring with what looks to be it looks like it should be a gemstone, but what it looks like is an eye, and either side of the eye is there a couple of sort of octopus tentacles wrapping round the ring either side of the eye.
Kind of whimper under my breath going, oh, nice little ironies. And gonna shut the box over and go, are you sure I wouldn't impose a cost to just doing the right thing?
We're definitely sure. As I said, it's not much, but something to remember us by at least. And she wants you to have it, sort of nodding towards the little girl.
With a mixture of curiosity and reluctance. Well, that's a way you're like, are you sure? Kinda, I don't really want to take this, but thank you anyway. In a way of just like stacking it in a pocket and then take a wee bow.
To go, oh no, none of that. No, none of that at all. You are always welcome, any of your group, in my house, as friends, family almost. So no ceremony here. And she'll turn to the kids and go, now, say goodbye, I'm sure they've got somewhere to be. And at this point, the little girl is also covered in her baby brother's food. So she'll go, I'll stay over here and just wave, bye. See you again. Come see us again. Thank you. And the little baby is just screaming in happiness. Just laughing and jumping around and just making a mess.
Fair enough, give them a little wave and then just kind of awkward says that Nico going, okay, can we go before the I think we should go before the wholesomeness overwhelms us both.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
very much for the lovely gift. I say proper loud to Tara and say, if we're ever in the neighbourhood again, I'm sure we'll stop by for a hello.
Feel free, the door's always open.
Nico would just nod and just say, thanks for having us.
No problem at all. Now, let me show you out. And she'll sort of walk you to the door and say goodbye and wave as you leave.
I didn't realise you were so good with children.
I look back going, neither did I. It's usually when they get a bit older, that's when they become a problem.
Don't I know it? I mean, drawing sucked. Technique was sloppy.
Oh yeah, god awful, but you gotta, learning curves and all that.
Yeah, I suppose so. Let's head back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you two head back to the inn. Draxus, where are you going this morning?
Draxus was heading towards Dot's toy shop, I think it was, or something.
Yeah, Doc's Provisions, I believe is what the shop is called. Yep, it is. So yeah, it's open. Once again, fairly quiet. School time has probably just started. So not really many kids about, and he's there back at his counter, working on his toys. And he'll see you come in and go, hello, how can I help? So I don't believe you've been in before, so.
No, Draxus sort of comes in and has a look around as he's not been in before. Sort of just looks around for a moment, not saying anything. Then, I was curious heard you can tinker with a few things, but I was curious how far your skills go.
I'm not too magically item inclined, just the sort of odd bits and pieces to make my toys work. Why, what were you thinking?
And he takes off the golden band and holds it out. I have this item, but on close inspection, it doesn't work at its full potential. Not quite sure why.
Let me see. And he'll go into his desk and pull out sort of a little set. It's got like a monocle and not a telescope, that's the wrong thing. My brain's gone dead, what's that called? Microscope. There we go. Not a telescope, he doesn't need a telescope. He's not that blind. A microscope and some little tools and things, and he'll pop your little bracelet on the counter and start having a look. And while he's looking, he'll go, "I'm Doc Flanderbatch, by the way. Nice to meet you. And you are?"
Draxus.
"Nice to meet you. Don't see many of your type around."
It's not a surprise.
"No, I can imagine." And he'll spend a good 10-15 minutes looking over the item. And he'll look and he'll go, "Yep, well, definitely broken. The enchantment seems ever so slightly off. It's way beyond my capabilities. I do apologise. Where could I send you? Who would be able to? Give me a moment. I'll be right back." And he'll jump off of his little stool and wander out to the back of his shop into his back office. Probably there about 5 minutes, and he comes back and goes, "Ah, yes. I will send you to Ladralai. She's a half-elf, runs the Curious Kobold shop. It's a fair journey away, though. It's Glenetty, so it's the elven capital city, but you will not find anyone that will be able to fix it any closer. This is definitely something for her."
Thank you. I was told to head over to Ramfield or Shatbear on possibility of other magical items I was looking for, but that's fair.
Yes, they do. The elves of Glenetty do ship their magical items out to elsewhere to be sold for the people that can't travel to them very easily. But if you're looking for someone to fix something or anything fairly well powered magic-wise, that's the place to go. Although I do warn you, travelling there can be quite dangerous. The forests around it are full of portals to random planes. I would advise you take a scout in case you end up in the middle of the fire plane.
Draxter sort of takes note of that and thinks about it for a moment. Yeah. Interesting. That's fair enough then. And he holds his hand out to take the bracelet back.
And he will hand it back to you. And he will also hand a little note and go, "When you go, just give that to Ladralai. It'll help grease the wheels, so to say."
Appreciated. Well, thank you. And Draxus will try and do a bit of a smile, but it sort of might look more like a snarl. And then Spy will probably stick her head out from under his collar, look at him, and just sort of shake her head and go back under the coat. And he'll just stop doing it and just sort of nod and leave.
Before you leave, he'll go, "Don't worry, you'll get practice at that." Nice pseudo dragon. I had a friend once that had one of those. Mischievous little thing.
Pain in the ass. Tells too much of a what would be the word? Conscience or something. But she's not too bad. And he'll stroke her head and nod again and head out and head back to the tavern probably.
Okay. Is everyone else still in the tavern?
I was with Russell and Ladinia. I think they wanted to leave the tavern, no?
I think Russell wanted to bake, if I remember correctly.
But then Ladinia wanted him to accompany her as well.
Yeah, that was just as a long-term thing rather than an immediate
Oh,
need.
right. My apologies.
But yeah, I probably would have just been sitting writing at home and thinking about how best to get it there.
Okay. By this time, probably Russell, you've been shown the kitchen. The innkeeper's taken you back there and shown you how to work the oven and told you the rough temperature it gets to, showed you where all the mixing bowls and all the ingredients are, and went, "Have fun," and left you to it.
I'll be rustling up my scones.
Cool. And by the time they are done, I believe everyone else will be back in the tavern as well. So Cecilia and Nico. No, Draxus walks in first because he was closest, and then Cecilia and Nico not far behind. Do you all go and sit at the same table?
Drax will probably head and sit down at his normal table, whether that's where they are or not.
Would Ladinia and Ishida be at the table that they know Draxus normally sits at?
I
I would
think
have gone over to there just to see if it was sitting there and would have seen no reason to move away from it, so probably, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's where they are. So you sit down with them, and then Nico and Cecilia walk in. Do you also go and sit down?
Yeah, Nico will go in and sit down. It just kind of he'll go to give Draxus a flick behind the ear as he walks past, and then realises he's a Dragonborn and he doesn't have any ears. Just flick him on the side of the head. Sit down opposite.
As you sit down, you get a bite in your ear from the back.
Just laugh it off.
As the bat sort of jumps over and lands on Drax's shoulder.
Cool. And at that point, Russell also walks out with scones, unless he's popped them in his bag.
I will have most of them in my bag, but I will have a small selected 5 scones just down in the middle of the table. Well, that was interesting, and I'll start dusting the flour off myself.
Is that for us?
Oh, dig in, dig in.
These smell divine, then I will take one.
Yeah, I'll take one and start eating it.
Nico, take one. just put it in his pocket. Kind of kick Draxus under the table and kind of eye the scones, kind of encourage him to take one.
Cecilia will take one as well.
So, Cecilia, were you away seeing Taylor this morning? I know that she had business with you.
Oh, yes. Just a simple thank you was all.
I'm glad you made time for that. I know that she would have been crushed if you hadn't gone to see her family.
Least we can do. Least we can do.
So does everyone have plans for the day?
I personally don't have anything planned, but I'm willing to go where everyone else wants to go.
Other than checking in on our erstwhile Ursine companion, I'm completely free now that I've got my scones made.
I know there was a matter that Arden wanted to settle before we left town, so we can visit him, and we would want to pass by Mr. What's his name? Barrymore's Grove, check on Samuel. Apart from that, I do have pressing, well, not so pressing matters, but family to attend.
I also have business. I've heard word of some sort of mage, in Shatbear, just slightly north of here, kind of next town along. Apparently he's using some or performing some unsavory magic. The locals are unhappy. Might be worth kind of going and giving that a look if you guys were willing to accompany me.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Where is your home located, Ludinia? Is it to the north, to the south?
This would not be heading home. This would be just heading to the coast. Back a quick question. What direction and how far out would the village be?
So his village is from where you are. It's to the southwest. If you look at the map, it's a place called Titan's Flute, or yeah, Titan's Flute is what I've named that place. So to the south of Ramfield, in between Ramfield and Silvergreen.
So that's in the other direction from Shatbear, I think. Because Shatbear's to the northeast, I want to say.
Shatbear's pretty much directly north from here.
As I say, mine is a non-pressing issue. If this is somebody doing harm, then that would be a better way to spend most or more recent, more soon future.
As long as everyone's happy to do.
Oh dear, I'd get a mixture for that if I were you.
No, it's the morning dew. It's just a bit of a cough. It'll pass.
Also, talking of oh sorry.
I don't carry on.
Looking at the map, Ramfield also seems interesting. Artin said a lot of his men were being sent there. I mean, considering there hasn't been a war for like 1,000 years, does that not seem strange that they're requiring soldiers all of a sudden?
Oh, yeah, that reminds me, we've got that letter about an encampment outside of Shatbear. Should have maybe dropped it off to Arton.
But that just worries me that soldiers are being sent because, I mean, what's the urgency for, yeah, soldiers all of a sudden? It's just a kind of worry.
What are you worried about, per se? Surely, if soldiers are being sent, is their issue, not our issue.
War is everyone's issue. And if they require, a multitude of soldiers, then that sounds like war to me.
Uh,
If there is a war on the horizon, then that's everybody's problem.
Perhaps when we go back to see Artin, it might be worth asking. I mean, he seems to be somewhat in the know.
Yeah, it's worth an ask. Definitely worth asking. I mean, he's a little incompetent, but there's no harm in asking.
His heart's in the right place, though it's a lot to deal with.
I suppose.
Excuse me 2 minutes, I'm just gonna nip out. And I'm gonna actually head outside the inn for a few minutes and just scan the skies.
Cool. You wait for a minute or two, and then a bird sort of flying around spots you, and you can see it spot you and be like, "Oh, there he is!" And it flies towards you, and it has a little note attached to its leg.
I will take said note. Thank it. Give it. I will give it a scone to peck at as much as it will, and then head back inside.
It takes a few bites of the scone, nods its head, and flies away.
Thank you. I might see you again soon, and head back inside, unfurling the note as I do.
Okay. Can you remind me what your note to Elmer said, please? Because I've lost it in my notes.
It was basically, "Hello Elmer, this is Russell. How is Samuel doing? Is he settling in well?
That was it.
You said, please send a message back and let me know how he's doing."
Yep. So the note you've got there says, "Hello, Russell. Samuel is doing okay. Um, my friends say he's comfortable and seems to be enjoying himself. From what they understand, he misses you guys a lot. but he seems fairly okay. From Elmer.
I'll head back inside and sit down at the table. Well, this is interesting. And I will toss the note onto the table.
Is it in uncommon or in druidic?
It is written in common.
A quick read of note. It's rather sweet that he seems to be missing us. I feel we should at least go to say goodbye if we'll be leaving for a while.
I just hope he's going to settle in properly.
Shall we get going then? Or do we still need to discuss what we're doing?
So we've got two choices really, which was Shatbear and Lavinia's family. And I think Shatbear's the more urgent one, I think.
Yes, I agree.
My business member can wait until we have seen some age.
Alright.
Where did you say your brother lived again?
Titan's flute?
I wonder. Give me a... You guys go ahead, I'm just gonna think of something, hang on.
Sort of Draxus sort of nudges Nico a little bit, and Spyro will say, "We've got somewhere else to go first."
To the rest of the group and say, yeah, we need to speak to Art and, do all that stuff. Also, there's a woman that I want to go and speak to in town. It was about that fella that we were following when we first arrived here, where all of us went out to find him and he'd already disappeared. I'd just like to see if I could follow that up before we leave. I don't like to leave loose ends.
Of course. Would you like any of us to accompany you?
Anyone that wants to.
If I recall, she was a noblewoman, so I'm quite happy to assist if you would like my eye on the situation.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, anyone that wants to come along is more than welcome.
I'll tag along if that's alright.
I'll tag along as well.
Of course.
Right then. So Artin and then this noble lady.
Absolutely.
Goes puts away his books that he was reading, gets up and starts heading off.
Cool. So you leave the inn, start walking towards the iron stockades. A few people call out to you as you walk past. You become kind of minor celebrities in this little town. Get a couple of people sort of say thank you as you walk past, just very quietly. And eventually you end up at the iron stockades. Bit of hustle and bustle. It's the same as you've seen it most days. Guards going out, guards going in. You walk in and there's Artin back in the same place he was, with paperwork surrounding him. A few guards around him doing bits and bobs.
On the way over, I would have shown Cecilia the bracelet, just generally showing it her and asking if she'd seen anyone leaving it there.
Sorry, what was that?
Just on the way to the iron stockade, I'm showing Cecilia the bracelet with flowers, just asking if she'd seen anyone leaving it there.
Would I have seen anyone doing it there?
Nope.
Nope, don't think so.
Very curious.
No. Does appear our ladyship's got an admirer in her hand? Like kind of that whole like exaggerated fluttering of the eyes.
For a moment, I just glanced at Ishida before going back to talking to Cecilia again.
Okay. Anyone else wanting to do anything else on the way to these stockades?
No. I'll try to avoid Ladini's direct eye contact and be like 5 feet behind her or in front of her at all times.
Okay, noted. Nobody else?
I will say if I see any children about, then I'll just sort of chuck a handful of druid craft in their direction, get something sort of fun, some flowers or some, get a little sort of cheerful effect.
Okay. You see probably a couple of groups of children, mainly the poorer ones. The older one, the more affluent ones are at school, but you see a few of the kids from looking like they come from the slum area running around. So you chuck them a few druid crafty bits, and they seem to really enjoy it. Start like you chuck some leaves over one of them, and they start playing in the leaves, and some of the girls pick up flowers that you throw at them. And yeah, you make your way over to the iron stockades. As I said, Arten's in the same desk he always is, surrounded by paperwork. So what are we doing at the iron stockades?
It was Draxus and Nico who wanted to come here, right?
No.
Is it still morning? Or
Late morning, sort of coming to lunchtime.
Drax just walks up. Good day.
Oh, hello, good day. Sorry, head deep in paperwork. I assume you've come to let me know the name that I need to put in my paperwork.
Drax just points to the rest of the group on that aspect.
So, do we have a group name that I can put in my paperwork? Looking at all the rest of you.
I know out of character we did discuss a name, but I don't think everyone had a vote on it. Are we alright with the suggestion, guys?
Yeah.
That was the suggestion.
Not that one.
Not that one.
I think we were going with good intentions, weren't it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, at which point I'm going to walk forward and say, just put us down as having good intentions.
Good intentions it is. It's better than any other kind of intentions. So you'll see him jot down in a few places on his paperwork that name. He goes, well, thank you very much. As I said, there will be messages left with all the inns, and not that there's a huge amount of inns or taverns in our little town, but the 2 or 3 we've got will be told if you come, whenever you come, free room and board, and you will always have somewhere to stay here as a thank you for what you did. We can't offer much, but we can offer that at least.
Well, I can offer you this, and Drax rummages through one of his bags and pulls out a letter. The letter they got off the barbarians at the Orcs Path Trail, saying about the army encampment east of Shatbear. And he'll hand the letter to Arton and just go, we found this a little while ago. A little bit busy to remember, but something that might be of interest or keep you aware of if you didn't already know.
Thank you. I was mildly aware there were some encampments around the north. I didn't know exactly where. At least I know there's one not far away. I know where to send troublemakers to, or at least keep an eye out for troublemakers coming back. Thank you very much.
If you don't mind me asking, what's the deal with all of your men being sent to Ramfield?
At this point, your guess is as good as mine. I've been told just to send them and not to ask questions.
Is
But
that usual?
it's unusual that Ramfield calls for anything. They normally leave us to ourselves. But it's not just me that's had men taken. I know Shatbear to the north has had it. And I can't pronounce my own town names. Ogbarrow has also been asked to send at least half of their men. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're definitely gathering troops for something.
And this hasn't happened before, so it's not a training drill or anything like that.
Nope, this has not happened before. As I said, normally our men are trained and employed and here their entire career. It's unheard of for them to be taken, to be called. Obviously, it may have happened in the past. I'm not quite sure what for, but it's never happened in my lifetime, at least.
Okay, well, just curious, that's all, thanks. Thanks.
If you happen to find out any information about what's going on, feel free to send it my way. I'd rather know what they're wanting all the troops for so we can prepare the village if we need to. But of course, they don't think of us out here. They're all safe behind their walls, leaving us out in the dark depending on what happens.
What do you think might happen?
In all honesty, I don't have much of a clue. I do know there was some problems with the the recall of the people at the Altar of the World. Obviously, you're aware of every capital city has to send a representative down there to try and keep the peace. It's what's kept the peace since the last war 1,000 years ago. Apparently, there was some problem with them all being called back after their break this time. And that's when we started being asked to send men, but other than that, I don't have a clue.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, information. It's good to know. So thank you.
I said, if you get anything more, bring it. Let me know.
Will do.
How's Arton looking, by the way?
Make me an insight check. Okay. So he's looking slightly less stressed than you've seen him before, knowing the Thieves Guild is sort of dealt with and the kids aren't gonna keep going missing has sort of lifted a bit of a weight off his shoulders. But there is still a sort of tiredness and a stress to him because he is still, even with the recruitment of the new soldiers he had, even with that, he's still understaffed and still having to do the work of probably about 3 or 4 people just by himself.
I'm going to pull out a book and start scribbling down something in it before tearing out a page and handing it to Arton, saying, "If you ever get too tired, tear a bit of this off and eat it."
He gives you a sort of very puzzled look and, pardon me?
It's magic. It's a little pep me up.
He'll look at the paper and go, okay, I'm not going to look at gift Furbolg in the mouth. I will certainly try it. Thank you.
So yes, I've expended one book of my edible book of recipes.
Awesome. And he'll look at the rest of you and go, was there anything else?
I believe we were curious about the lady who was hosting the Wizard Clarkson. We had some questions for her. Where is her residence?
I believe, from what I understand, you have been to Lord Winter's house. Her house is not further down the street, sort of closer to us, about 3 doors away from him. It's a big... you'll know it when you see it. Let's just put it that way.
And is there any more services we could do whilst we're in the area?
I think you have done more than enough for now. There's nothing else going on other than normal local spits and spats at the moment. I'm not sure how long that'll last for, but I will take it while I've got it.
I believe the mood of this entire study has been raised slightly, so long may this feeling of goodwill continue.
I shall hope so. And on that note, I shall bid you all farewell. I am going to go back to my paperwork. So do you all leave?
I'm actually going to hang back a little, just as everyone's leaving.
Okay. So he'll notice you hanging back and go, "Sorry, was there something else?"
A small request if you could manage it. Um, it sounds a little bit odd, but the alchemist, you know the one,
Yes.
Mr. Pot. There's an inn in town, the Shady Spigot, I think it was.
Mhm.
There's a sort of bit of land behind it with a tree.
I'm aware. Yes.
Could you ensure that he has access to that tree, no matter what?
I can certainly manage that. It's not hard. It's a public area, so shouldn't be too difficult to make sure he can always access it.
Like I said, we need to keep this hush hush. Naturally, I don't want anyone to know why he's going there, but there was something involved in me being able to help you guys, and I need to repay the favour.
That is no problem. I will see it done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arton. I do hope that things go your way, and if you don't, and if things go wrong and you need our help, um, talk to Mr. Potts. Depending on how far he goes, he might know someone who can get in touch with us.
Noted. I will keep it in mind. Thank you.
Well, have a good day, and I will exit.
And you will see him go back to his paperwork and start filing away the bits of paper where he's now been able to fill in your group name and carry on with the rest of his paperwork. So, where are we off to next, boys and girls?
If we are considering leaving the town, and have a long journey ahead of us, do you think we should try to procure some form of transport? Maybe a carriage, perhaps?
It'll only take us out of game. I'm pretty sure it'll only take us like a couple of days to get to Shatbear, would it?
Yeah, sort of at a normal pace, sort of 2 to 3 days by foot.
I think I said last time that I was gonna go and speak to somebody about maybe seeing if we could get travel. You said you hadn't kind of figured all that out yet. Did I manage to find anyone that could kind of transport us there a bit quicker?
No,
Like
unfortunately. Uh, yeah, no,
that's
unfortunately,
okay.
it's a small town, so there was nowhere with like horses to rent, and you didn't find anyone going in that direction.
Okay, no problem.
Um,
Go ahead, man.
oh, sorry. I'll kind of go to everyone, but like, I don't know about the rest, but I am okay in the woods and traveling generally. I don't know about the rest of you and whether you're comfortable traveling long distances, but I guess we should leave when the sun is out.
I've done a fair bit of travel, uh, as has Draxus, so we'll be alright.
What about everyone else?
Woods ain't no stranger to me.
Admittedly, most of my travel was by sea, but done a fair few miles on land.
I'm the same. I usually use traveling by water, but I'm sure with the group we have, we should be fine.
Then shall we take about an hour to fill up any supplies that we need in terms of provisions and start heading out?
Yeah, we've got to go to this woman's house first.
Okay.
Do we start walking to where Artin kind of described to Lavinia where her house was?
Okay. Is everyone going?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll head along.
Cool. So you walk back into the sort of the upmarket side of town, and you start walking in the direction you remember Lord Winter's house to be. Make me all make me perception checks to see if you can spot the house. Okay, so Draxus doesn't see it, but Spyro does. Ashida doesn't see it. Um, when Artin said you'd know the house when you saw it, he wasn't lying. It's like every other house on the street, so it's very big, very glamorous. That's not the word I was going for. It'll do. The only difference is it's purple. Every other house is normal brick coloured house. This one is a very, very vibrant purple.
Well, that's striking.
That's got to be the place, isn't it? Draxus, do you want to take the lead on this one?
Oh, that reminds me. After we're here, do you mind if I check in on Samuel before we head out?
Yeah. Um, do you think you'll enjoy actually traveling with us?
I'm not sure. Elmer said he was settling in okay, but he missed us. I'm not sure if it'd be better for him to stay here or amongst his own kind, or if we should take him along. It's difficult to say, difficult to judge with he's his own person as much as us, so he has to make the choice, I guess.
Hmm. So, are we going to introduce ourselves to this lady or person, or are we just going to stand around?
I believe Traz is BRB right now.
Oh, it was Traz. It wasn't Ladinia. My bad.
Sounds about right. That is it. We'll just go there. I can do if you want. And you'll head up first.
Yeah, Nico will be right behind him.
Cool. So do you walk up and knock on the door?
Yep.
I'm also going to make sure to stick close to those two.
Okay. So it takes a moment, but the door is opened. Um, and you're all looking at head height, and you see no one. For a split second, you think the door's open by itself, and then you look down, and stood before you is a about 4 foot in height, black Kenku, who, once you've spotted him, goes, "Welcome. Who are you?" In a voice that Draxus recognizes.
Drax just stands there for a moment, just staring at it.
I take a step forward. Good day, sir. We are here to see the lady of the house. We have some questions for her about the disappearance of an acquaintance of hers.
He'll look over to you and go, "Do you have an appointment?"
Alas, we were not able to make one. We just thought that if this was someone who was residing here, then the lady of the house might be interested in hearing more about what happened.
Wait
Do
here.
forgive me. My name is Ladinius.
Wait here, please. And he'll close the door.
Nico will kind of put a hand on Drax's shoulder and just say, "You okay? Are you alright?"
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
He's gone for a good 5-10 minutes. You start to think he's not coming back. And then the door opens and goes, "Lady Gwyneth will see you. Follow me." And turns around and starts walking you into a very fancy parlour, where the lady in question is sat on a lounger, cup of tea in hand. The little Kenku sort of ushers you each to a seat. There's all separate seats, and she picks up a pot of tea and sort of shows it to you all as if to say, "Do you want tea?"
I nod politely.
He will pour you out a cup of tea and hand it to you and point out onto the table that there is milk, cream, sugar, honey, a selection of things you can add to the tea. And once again, he will look at everyone else as if to say, "Do you want tea?"
I'll nod as well and say thank you.
He will do the same to you, and there's your cup of tea.
Drax just will like just smell this tea going past, but we'll just like raise a hand in decline.
Okay. Make me a perception check for smelling the tea.
Drax is a bit of a snob, isn't he? Dear me.
Are you rolling a perception check?
I already have.
Oh, my system is not showing it up. 2 seconds.
No, I only rolled a 7.
No, that was for coming in the door. Well, no, that was for finding the house. This is for smelling the tea.
No, I rolled another 7.
Oh, I don't know what's happened.
Lag.
Really
Yeah,
bad lag.
I actually
Yeah,
can't see
I'm not
any roll
getting
at
it
all.
either.
Might be me. Let me jump out and jump back in.
Cool.
Okay, weird. It's not even showing up on my tracker now. Very peculiar.
Roll it again. There we go. Okay. You don't smell anything odd about the tea. It's just normal tea.
Do I recognise the flavour of it by any chance?
You do actually. Well, you recognise the smell of it at least. It's probably the first tea you ever drank, to be fair. So it's hard to forget it. But yes, it is a tea from where you were raised.
Yeah, we'll just raise a hand up in decline.
Okay, and then the Kenku will look at the rest of you that haven't yet accepted or declined and sort of offer the teapot.
I will graciously decline.
I will also decline.
So Siri will take a cup.
Okay, so he will do the same. Pour you a cup, hand it to you, indicate all the additions to it, and the lady reclining on her lounger will go, "That's fine, Bark. You can leave now. We will be okay. Go back to your duties, please." And he will turn round, bow, and then walk out. Goes, "Welcome."
Okay. Sorry, man.
She will turn to you guys and welcome to my home. And how can I help today?
So Lavinia's going to kick it up into high gear noble. She's had a little bit of honey to the tea before politely going, "Anyway, before we start, may I just say that your house is a beacon of colour in an otherwise bad neighbourhood, and I must compliment you on your decor. From what I have seen from a small area, it is truly exquisite. You are a lady of taste."
Why, thank you, my dear. It was not my idea, but it certainly brightens the place up a bit. I do really like it. And I'm glad it's noticeable, certainly to those of more discerning taste.
As your servant may have mentioned, we do have news of the gentleman who was staying here, the Wizard Clarkson. If you don't mind, I will allow my associate here to give more detail. He is more versed in the arcane. At which point I'm just going to indicate the Vaxes to take over.
Yes. We heard from Artin you were the one who asked for the search on him.
Yes, I was. He was here one night and then gone the next. It didn't seem like he could look after himself very much. So I wanted to make sure he was okay.
After tracking him down and seeing how he'd left, just a bit of curiosity to obviously what he was doing before, and obviously we got word that he stayed here the night before, and we just wanted to see if you could enlighten us on him a little bit or anything.
Can I ask why you're interested?
Well, it was curiosity of how a person of questionable mental state, from what we've been told, would get bored from someone of your standing, for one, but as well as his skill at the arcane, um, does intrigue me a bit. Um, uh, and his obviously his skill and his studies, and yeah, just wanted to know bit more about him and such, if possible.
Well, the why he was staying here is very quite simple. He helped me out of a jam, which I'm not going into with you. So I offered him a place to stay, as staying in that horrible tavern would not have done, considering the help he gave me. He was only here 2 days, so I do not know too much about his arcane ability, other than that he has it. It was his idea and his magic that turned my house to purple. And he obviously left me bark here as a thank you for letting him stay. Although I wasn't expecting him to leave as quick as he did. He wasn't talking about leaving as quick as he did. Other than that, he was a very sweet, kind gentleman.
Can I insight check her?
You can.
Same.
Go for
Same.
it. All of you go for it.
Traz, has your roll 20 gone tits up again?
And yours, Sam. I haven't got yours.
God, alright, I'll sign out, sign back.
Bloody hell, I don't know what's going on at the minute.
That was a roll well worth waiting for.
Oh, the first one was a 17 as well. I mean, it was a nat 20, obviously.
Okay, so Nico, you believe every word she says. Draxus and Cecilia, she seems honest. She's not giving any blatant signs of lying. Ladinia and Ashida, she's being honest as far as she's aware, but something seems a little bit off and programmed with her answers.
Program, as in, we can tell that these are answers that she's practiced or been given to practice?
No, as in, these are answers that she's giving because she believes they're correct answers. But they have been potentially placed into her head without her awareness.
Is there any way I can maybe kind of whisper to Ladinia without actually? Can I try to whisper to Ladinia? Just kind of approach her and kind of just whisper into her ears like I'm telling a secret.
Make me a stealth check.
Could I help with this by suddenly inquiring about how the daughter is doing after her harrowing experience?
She will give you a puzzled look and go, "Sorry, what? I don't have a daughter. What daughter?" Yes, Ashida, 21 is enough stealth check to be able to whisper to Ladinia.
I'm gonna whisper to her saying this. I get the impression she's not lying to us, but there is something strange in the way she's giving us the answers. I don't know whether it's the full truth.
Yeah, I'm going to just nod away. Like, yes, it does seem slightly off. Would we be able to see his room? Just to see if anything was left behind.
That seems a little intrusive for people that don't seem to have known him, other than being intrigued by his arcane abilities, and she'll give Draxus a stare. So unless you can come up with a better reason, I will decline.
Well, we did just kind of do this town a favor. We're not asking to ransack your home or take anything or destroy any of your property or any of your belongings. We're just asking for a little look around where he stayed just to get a better idea of maybe who he was.
You may have done the town a favour, but you did not do me a favour. And once again, it's rather intrusive of strangers to want to look through someone's room who is no longer there. So no, you may not.
You forgive me, madam. My mind stuttered for a moment, but Lord Winter, he has a daughter, correct?
Yes, she does.
Yes. How's she doing?
She is doing fine as far as I'm aware. He's letting her out to play with the other children, which I think is a silly idea. Who knows what she'll get up to, but his decision.
I'm glad to hear that she's doing okay after we had to save her.
Is the kangaroo left the room? Was he in the corner or something?
No, the Kenku has left the room.
From how she's acting and talking, would I get the suspicion she might still be under some kind of influence?
Make me an Arcana check.
Could I have assisted with this as well?
No.
Because
I'm able to cast guidance on myself before I do this.
Are you trying to do it subtly?
You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do.
I was gonna say, you can't tell. Yes, you have no idea if she's still under any kind of arcane influence at all.
I do apologise for the intrusive request. I just thought with him being missing, we might be able to find some clues as to where he's gone. As a friend of his, I assumed you would want us to make sure he was well, but I can completely understand.
But Artin has informed me of what you found, and that you believe he's gone to the Feywild.
While they're talking, I'm
Mhm.
just gonna quietly just sort of shut my eyes for a moment, open them, and then take get a sort of gentle sniff of the air, and I'm going to use detect magic.
Okay. Uh, okay. So you detect magic on her. Obviously the outside of the house. How far is it?
It's as per the spell, so I think it's
30 feet.
Okay, so yep, so the outside of the house, there is a ping from what you would assume would be one of the rooms upstairs, and there is a ping moving around in the basement.
Well, yeah, we apologise for bothering you then. Drax just sort of gets up and dusts himself off.
Miss Lavinia, could I borrow you for a moment? And I'm going to bolt out the room, get sort of feigning sort of a coughing fit.
Do excuse me. I'm going to quickly follow.
Okay, she doesn't question.
The minute we're out the room, I'm going to sort of quickly utter up and down, sort of tell her exactly that there is definite magic coming from her. Did I get a school of magic from that?
You did. There is enchantment on her and the magic that's moving around in the basement. There is illusion on the wall outside, which you assume is the colour.
And the one upstairs?
I'm just trying to find the school of magic. Give me just a moment. I need to remember to note down schools of magic when I put things in places. It is divination upstairs that you sense.
I will pass that to Lavinia and sort of say you might want to pass that to Mr. Draxus. He's our arcane specialist, but I don't know, that sort of magic, that could be a charm. I mean, I know I can do something similar, but that could be she could be ensorcelled.
Thank you for the information. I may try something. Shall we go back in?
Yes, it's a long-term ailment, shall we say.
Of course. So, head back inside.
Okay.
Indeed. And I will feign a little bit of wheezing as I sit back down.
I do hope you are feeling okay. I can get Bark to get you a glass of water if you'd like.
I thank you for your kindness, but it's just been around a little bit too much of the wrong type of plants. Yeah.
As an apology for being so intrusive, I wish to form a small blessing upon your house. Would that be permissible? Just a cleric thing, if you understand.
I will allow it.
Okay, I walk over and I cast protection from evil and good on her. See if you can break the charm.
Can you link me the spell? Thank you. Okay, so it doesn't seem to do anything. But she does say, "Thank you very much. I'm sure the house will be much more blessed now."
Could I have a look around the room, see if there's anything suspicious around the room or anything that piques my interest at all?
Make me a perception check.
19.
Nothing that piques your interest. It just looks like a posh person's parlour.
Like my aunt's. Fair enough.
Exactly. A little less posh than your aunt's, but yes.
Yeah, she is a bit of a snob. Is she was a human, right? She wasn't an elf, right?
No, she's human.
Okay.
And at this point, she'll look around you all and go, "Was there anything else I could help with?"
No, I don't think there is. As I say, Draxus gets up and looks at everybody else.
Okay. As she sees you get up, she will clap her hands together and go, "Bark!" And takes a moment or two, but the little Kenku walks back in. He goes, "Yes, lady." And she goes, "Could you see them out, please?" And he'll slight bow again.
Oh,
As we're
madam.
heading out, I'm just going to quickly whisper to Draxus about the different magics that have been detected.
How long does detect magic last for you?
It's as per the spell, so I believe it's 10 minutes.
Okay, so that ping of enchantment that was in the basement is now in the room with you. It's coming from Bark.
I'll nod at that and actually turn to the lady and say, "Oh, my lady, would it be possible for me to speak with the young mistress of the house?"
What young mistress of the house? Lord Winters does not live with me. Him and his daughter live separately.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is the same manor, correct?
No.
That's on the player, right? In that case, I will retract that statement.
Okay, that's fine. Retracted, it's fine.
On hearing Lavinia tell Draxus about these things, do you primarily tell him about her having an enchantment on her?
Yeah, that would be the lead there.
He will walk to the door, leaving the parlour, and gesture for everybody to walk out, but he will say, "Give me a minute," and he will just nod to Nico and shut the door, so they're sort of like in the hallway, and he will turn back to Lady Gwyneth and walk up to her and say, if one did have closer bonds with Clarkson, would that be a different matter?
A different matter into what? Seeing the room he stayed in?
Draxus will rub his head wipe across his eyes, and he will use his new ability to cast detect magic as well instantly to see the enchantment on her.
Yep, so you get exactly the same pings as Russell did. So the enchantment on her, the illusion on the wall outside, the enchantment on Bark, and the divination upstairs.
Well, this might be more to do with the fact that I know him better than you obviously do.
And she will respond with, "Do you, Draxus?"
Yes, I do. Because I know I weren't too sure, but I was confident he was, well, that you have an enchantment on you now.
I'm sure you believe I do.
Sorry, I was out of the room for a second. Where are we at the moment?
In the hallway with the door closed.
Drax just gave you a nod, just to wait.
What room did he stay in?
He stayed
Is
in the
it
room with Gwyneth.
Yeah.
You currently have the Kenku with you, who is looking a little bit like he's in a flap in more ways than one. I didn't mean to make that pun until I realised I'd made it.
Sure, we believe you.
So what did he say or put in your head?
He has put nothing in my head, although he did warn me about you and your friend, and how you've been chasing him to the edge of existence for some imagined slight, and how you like to see ghosts and bad things that aren't there, and the nastiness in people.
Of course. And to leave a nice, bright purple house sticking out has nothing to do with it, I assume.
He believed I should stand out. He thought I was intriguing and special, and wanted my house to denote the same. It was a gift, like Bark was.
I'd be careful of his gifts. They don't always turn out the way you expect them to.
If you say so. They were doing alright by me so far. Bark is a treasure, and the colour is fantastic. I love it.
Oh, I can see the enchantment on you. I can see the enchantment on him. He's obviously been forced here against his will, which is very disgusting. I see the enchantment on the illusion on the house. And he looks up towards the divination spell. And I see whatever he's left behind. May I ask to see it?
You may ask, and you will get the same answer that you have had all for the last 20 minutes. No, you may not.
If Draxus is pointing to the kind of direction of
You
it.
can't see him. The door's closed. You're outside the room. He's inside the room with the door closed.
Oh, I'm outside the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, no problem.
But with that, Draxus will get Spyro to start communicating to you about where this, to talk to Russell about upstairs.
Alright, Russell, what's going on in this house?
If I were to take my best guess, I'd say that she's under some sort of bewitchment. Our dear friend here in the corridor, he has some magical ability, I want to say. Or it could be some wonderful little charm that someone's given him as a gift. The outside of the house has magical abilities, would you believe it? I don't believe that colour is the natural colour of stone. There's something else upstairs as well, which is giving off the magic which allows you to see where you are not. Or something of that ilk.
I'm gonna need to see that room. And I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't want to hurt anybody, but will you send me with a temper? I don't want to be screaming like a goat around this lovely home. But I'm pretty certain that I'm not leaving this house until I've looked at that room.
Are you talking to Russell?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you have any idea what kind of enchantment that Kenku has on it?
I don't know any more than it's a bewitchment of some sort, really. This is a limited ability that I have. I do have an idea about how I could get us up there, though it's not pleasant.
I am not pleasant, so that suits me just fine.
I will look to Lavinia and sort of mutter, if we need to go up there, I could maybe have the butler guide us.
It depends. We do not want to make enemies of this town after becoming celebrated by it so quickly.
Can I just check, Becca, how far away is that signal, give or take?
The divination one,
Yes.
a floor up and to the left, so above the room she's in.
About, what would you say, 30 foot, 40 foot?
Something like that.
This may have been a dream, but it might be worth a shot. Mr. Dragon, would you please come with me? And I will sort of indicate to Spiral.
Spyro's not with you.
Oh, he's with you.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like I'll need to go alone. I'm going to physically whisper to you guys, distract the bird.
Easily done. I'm just gonna go over to like a side table or a fireplace or anything that's around and just kind of knock the heaviest item onto the floor. With whatever it is, even if it's glass and it breaks, whatever, I'm just gonna knock something loud over.
Okay. So you walk over to a side table by the front door and you knock off a very large vase that's full of some flowers, and it falls to the floor with a smash, which actually in the room with Draxus makes Lady Gwyneth jump. And the Kenku, who was already pretty stressed out, now loses his shit. And he starts running around and in a multitude of different voices going, no, 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 no. Never with the same voice, and just running around flapping his wings, and he's super gone.
So
But well distracted.
Are there stairs leading upstairs in this hallway?
They are. It's sort of a grand entranceway with the stairs in the middle, and they sort of split up. Think Beauty and the Beast, where she's coming down the stairs. That kind of staircase.
Okay, good to know.
In that case, I am going to, at that point, transform into a strange-looking dog. And I'm going to blink.
Okay.
When no, I'll let Russell do his thing.
To, I assume, where the divination spell is.
Indeed, in my new form.
Yes. Would you like to describe your new form for those that can see it?
It is a... It looks much like a mastiff, but with much more refined features. Slightly almond-shaped eyes, with next to no pupil on them, actually. There's a faint sort of scent of otherworldliness, which sort of drifts from the space which I leave as I sort of blink out of existence. This light blue sort of shape gets vanishing in a puff of smoke.
Okay. You find yourself upstairs in a very lovely guest room. Big double bed in the middle of the room, pushed against the wall. It's a 4-poster bed. Very ostentatiously decorated, like she is trying to show off. And the divination spell is coming from a corner, just on a side table.
I am looking at that as closely as my little eyes will allow.
So make me an investigation check. Oh, did I say perception? I meant investigation.
No, sorry, that was me. I clicked the wrong one.
Okay. So you do spot where the spell is coming from. It's a little glass orb that sat on the bedside table, or the dressing table. Just a circular sphere orb, completely clear. But that's where the spell's coming from.
I'm going to pick it up in my mouth and then try and recharge my blink.
Okay. Yep, you recharge it.
All right, in that case, I am going to move to the very outside wall.
Okay.
The wall closest to the outside of the building and try and blink outside if I can.
Okay, I'll allow it. So you blink outside, you're now outside the house. Draxus can obviously feel that divination magic move from the room above them to the outside of the house in the blink of an eye.
Obviously, I know as a player, Dispel Magic is a 3rd level spell. Does Draxus know of any other way of dispelling a spell or magic of any sort?
Roll me an Arcana check. Actually, no, you don't need to. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know of any other way of dispelling magic other than the spell.
Draxus will hear the break from the hallway. Look at the others. We'll get Spyro to tell Cecilia, Lydinia to start leaving. And then he'll wait a few moments before he leaves and just go to her. You can believe whatever you think you can believe. And he'll point to, I assume the enchantments focus more on her head.
Yep.
Yeah. He'll point towards her head and go, you may not believe me for whatever lies he's told you, but if there's anybody with any, well, a holy person or anybody else in this town that you may trust with magical ability, maybe you should check with them and see if they can change that. It won't do you any good to live in ignorance, and I will be informing Artin and such about your little bird. I do not like that you are keeping a pet from him, especially one that doesn't even know it is one. But on that note, I assume it's best for me to leave, and he will give a half nod and turn and start leaving.
And she will let you leave, and she'll go, enjoy your trip. As you leave. Obviously, as you walk into the hallway, I assume, has everyone else left, or have you waited for him to come back? Because obviously Spyro told you to start leaving. Oh, sorry, Scott, what did you say?
You mentioned to leave, just drop down. Okay, time to go. Straight out.
Everyone else going as well?
Yeah, I would walk out after the instructions to do so.
Yeah.
I probably would have hung about, or at least take my time to leave.
Okay. So Draxus walks into the hallway, sees the broken vase on the floor, the Kenku having a bit of a nervous breakdown, running around in multiple different voices, just still saying no, 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 no. And Nico sort of waiting by the front door for him.
Draxus will probably kneel down. Well, he doesn't have to kneel down, but he'll probably kneel down to the Kenku and put a hand on its shoulder. I cannot help you now, but I will do my best for you. I know you're trapped in there somewhere. And he'll nod and get up and leave.
Okay. He sort of calmed down a little bit at your words, and you saw a slight spark in the back of his eye. But then he sort of went back to running around, having a bit of a breakdown.
Drax will just walk up to Nico, nod, and start heading out. Probably start heading back towards the back towards Artem's.
Okay. You do notice, I assume Russell is still in his form.
Indeed, it may be a surprise to anyone who has knowledge of the plains to see a blink dog charging towards you.
I'm assuming Draxus will know what it is. I feel like Draxus would know what this is.
I mean, we as the rest of the party did see him transform, right? So it's not that he's just this random thing. We did see him transform.
No, you saw him transform, but Draxus obviously hasn't. But I don't think anyone else would know what he's transformed into, but Draxus would.
That sort of cocks his head a little bit. Interesting. Is that in my book as well, or is that something else? I'll have to check. Very interesting.
I will sort of cough the ball into my hand, polish it on the road before. This was the source of magic that was up there. I don't know what it is. It says divination. I don't know if it's maybe some far-looking device. I don't know. Maybe you want to take a look at it, Mr. Draxus. You seem to have knowledge of the arcane.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it. Yeah, I'll have a closer look later. And pops it away in a pocket. But to cover our backs, it might be a good idea to inform Arton about what we have discovered, and as you also saw what was going on there, it might be it backs up my claim a bit.
Might be a good idea.
I mean, it's all well and good going to tell Arton, but turning a house purple is not a crime.
No, but she has some sort of enchantment primarily directed at her mind. So a charm of some sort. The way she spoke about him, and the way she spoke about us, reminds me of those fey creatures back in the cave when they first saw you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Can't let him know.
I wonder if maybe we should mention them to Elmer as well.
That's true. Is he quite powerful? Would he be able to remove something like that or such?
He's difficult to gauge the strength of someone's abilities, but if he's on that path and he's around here often enough, he might have the ability to maybe drive off something malign from our mind if given the chance. It's worth asking anyway.
It would be nice to talk to her without the charm, but I think it would be wise for us to speak to Hart and collect any supplies we need, have an early night and get away, be off it before dusk, before dawn.
Now, that sounds like a good idea, though I do need to check in on Samuel. So if you guys want to head back, or if anyone wants to come and see him, maybe we could split up.
I'd quite like to see how Samuel's doing, and I think it might be better to for our time if we do split.
So be it. If you want to head that direction, see what you can find out. We will carry on to Arton and sort out supplies.
Sheila, would you mind going away to see Arton? Samuel is not best taken with you, after all.
Yes, actually, that is a fair comment. I'll go to see Arton. But do look after yourself. And I'll go with the group when they start going to art.
I will point out that Cecilia has no idea who Samuel is.
Yeah, she's always just standing here just going, shrug. Who the fuck are you talking about? Someone care to fill me in?
Of course, you never met him, did you?
No, I haven't. I don't know if you can see the entry points above my head, the kind of vague question mark above here. Just kind of waving our hand like that. Going, can someone maybe fill me in before we go trooping off to whatever mess we are heading off into?
Samuel is a young gentleman that we rescued from a holding cell. He was left with a druid friend of ours, as we thought he might better settle there.
Good to know.
Okay, so who's going where? Just so I'm aware.
I'm going with whoever's going to see Arton.
So I believe it's Draxus, Nico, and Ishida to Arton, and Russell, Lavinia, and Cecilia to Samuel.
Okie dokie. So we will go with Artin first. So Atraxis, Nico, and Ishida. You make your way back to the Iron Stockade.
Yep, head back in, go up to if Arton's still at his desk.
A lot less paperwork. Not as much paperwork on his desk. He's definitely getting through it. And he sees you walk in and goes, "Oh, very nice to see you all again."
Yes, unfortunately, bring a bit of awkward news, unfortunately.
Awkward news?
Yes, as we said, we wanted to go see Lady Gwyneth, just to see if we could get a little bit more information on Clarkson about his dealings and such, the way he left in such a way and certain things. Just curiosity mostly. And not to be rude, we just thought we'd talk to her as she was so gracious to allow him to stay with her for the final evening before he headed off. But on talking to her, a few of my colleagues noticed some discrepancies in the way she was talking and such, and using a bit of arcane means. Me and Russell, the larger one, noticed that she had an enchantment put on her, something affecting the way she maybe perceived something or the way she acted. Same with the little bird butler. Not exactly sure how deep it went, but when we brought it up, she got very aggressive. Well, a bit aggressive and defensive, which is a bit understandable. But I don't believe anybody in the town has the means of sorting that situation out.
Sorry, back it up a little bit. She has a what? When did she get a bird butler?
Well, supposedly before Clarkson left, he gave her this, I believe, Kenku butler servant, but as well as turning her house purple. But both her and the bird have an enchantment spell placed on them. I would gauge quite powerful, and from the area of their being on primarily on their heads, I'd assume it would be affecting their minds of some sort, their perception or memories of such.
Having a butler is definitely out of character. She did tend to be quite an independent kind of person. I don't think she's had. Everyone else has got servants, but she was very much against it, so I'm not sure. Leave it with me. I will see what I can do. There is a. We have but one temple in the town, but the Freys are fairly powerful clerics. If not, I'm sure they will know someone that can. I will see what we can do, but leave it with me.
I thought I'd inform you before she may come bad mouthing us on confronting her on this fact.
Understood. I will take your word for it. You've done enough to earn my favour. I doubt you'd be making the nonsense up. It's far too
Well,
outlandish.
it's a simple, most basic spellcasters can have the access to an ability to allow them to see the magic at least. Via that, it would help them much.
Yes, exactly. But leave it with me. If the Freys at the temple can't do it, I know Doc has a very powerful cleric friend that I'm sure he can call in for us.
Good luck, and I believe we'll be heading out in the morning. So if we do not see you before, be well. And he sort of looks at Nico when he says that.
Yep. Me too.
And to you as well. If there is some kind of spell on them and we manage to remove it, I will let you know of any information we get from them. I can't guarantee, but I will, as I said, certainly try.
Appreciated. And Draxus will nod and turn and wave.
Is
Follow him out.
there anything you wanted to do before you left?
No.
Okay. So yep, you leave and you go back to the inn. Oh no, you're going to look for supplies, correct?
Yeah, if I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's getting a bit late, but if Doc's is still open.
You notice a light on. The window does say closed, but the light is on, and if you look in the window, you can see him still at his desk, just working on something.
Knock on the window.
He'll look up and see you and sort of wave you in.
Go on in.
Hello again. How can I help?
I know you said closed, but running a little bit late. Any chance we can get some provisions for travelling?
You are confused by my shop name. I understand. Doc's Provisions is just what I call it, but it is just primarily a toy shop. I do not actually sell provisions, I'm afraid. I do apologise. Although now you're here, I did have something for you. I was going to get it dropped off at the inn, but as you are here, and he will pick up what he was working on, and it's a tiny little mechanical pseudo dragon. And he goes, I thought your friend may like a friend, and he'll sort of flick his wrist, and it will flutter and fly and land on Spyro's head. And it's tiny. It's like really small.
Yeah, 'cause I'm pretty sure pseudo dragon's like classed as tiny, I
Yeah.
believe.
So this is like thimble sized. And it just rests on her head.
Ratchet just looks at it and sort of like pretty gobsmacked at the intricate, well, the delicateness it would take to make such a tiny piece of equipment. That is truly amazing.
Thank you. It's not often I get to practice my artificer skills quite as intricately as that, but as I said, my friend has a pseudo dragon as well, and I have made her one before, and she loves it. So I saw this one and thought she would like one too.
Thought he just gets in his head love, really happy emotions, and from Spyro just saying thank you, love it, thank you.
He will look at Spyro and go, "You are very welcome. If he takes you to see them, I think you and Luna will get along very well."
Thank you very much, and but at the same time, sorry for disturbing you. My mistake.
It's an easy one to make, and most newcomers. To be fair, it's there so newcomers walk in. If I named it Doc's Toy Shop, I don't think many travelling people would walk in the door. But those that do, now they see Doc's Provisions thinking I sell extra things, most of them tend to walk out with something.
Very clever. But on that note, any chance you could direct us where we could get some provisions?
Yes, if you go to the across the street bakery and meadery, they tend to do at least food and drink. If you're looking for more than that, there is a general store. It will be closed now though. Although if you ask Lasserre at the inn you're staying in, he tends to keep at least some travelling provisions, not food and drink, but well, he does. He's an inn, but not for travelling. He tends to do hot food, but sort of odd bits and bobs there. But if you're looking for food and rations and things, that would be across the street. The place, not literally across the street. We all name our shops really stupid things in this town.
Would they still be open now, or would we have to head back tomorrow?
She likes to think she's a very upper market, what she calls a wine bar. She's not really, but she will still be open at this time of night, yes. She'll be dead, but pretend, for me, peace, just honestly, peace. Just pretend that it's very upper market and very lovely.
Of course. Thank you very much. Draxus will put down 2 gold coins on the table.
No, take it. It was a gift. Honestly, what is it with your group and insisting on paying for things that are not meant to be paid for? I assume you don't have a bard in your group.
Drax just sort of, as he says that, picks it up and says, "That's fair enough. I do not offer twice."
You should not have even offered once. It's fine, it was a gift. Get better at your negotiating skills. You'll need them.
Well, on that note, good evening. And Drax will nod and head out.
And he will say, "Good evening." And we'll close the door behind you and you'll hear the lock go. And he'll turn the lights off and he will retire. And we will now pop over to the other group. So, Russell, Ladinia, and Cecilia. You are off to see Samuel, I believe?
I think that was the plan.
Okay. So you have a rough idea of where he's gone. It's probably about a 20-minute walk outside of the town, in the forests. So you follow the rough guide of what you've been told, and you come across just a little wooden house in the middle of the forest. Lights on, smoke coming from the chimney. Looks fairly homely. There's sort of a chopping block where someone obviously cuts wood for a fire. Little vegetable patch in the back garden from what you can see, and a herb patch as well. And yep, that's. Don't see anything outside, but you do see the lights on and the smoke coming out from inside the house.
As we start heading in that direction, I'm just going to brush my hand along the plants and say, "Oh, my friends, could you let them know that they've got guests coming?"
You get a very chipper "sure" back from the plant, and it doesn't take very long before the door is open by a half-elven woman wearing fairly simple clothes, long skirt, apron, green sort of jacket top. And she opens the door and goes, "Hello, hi." And she'll look straight at you and go, "Oh, you must be Russell. Samuel has told us all about you and your friends. Come in, come in, come in." And she will step away and usher you in the house.
Thank you very much for your hospitality at this late hour.
You are more than welcome. Samuel has done nothing but talk about you.
As I enter, I'm going to introduce myself as well.
Oh, no need for introductions. I know you're Russell, you're Ladinia, and you are... He hasn't mentioned you. Who are you? Looking at Cecilia.
Oh, I'm Ladinia's aide, Cecilia. I give a little mock bow.
Nice to meet you. I am Adelaide Ashglade, and this is mine and my husband's home. He is currently out gathering dinner for tonight, so he's not here. But I assume you've come to see Samuel, so let me take you to him. And she will spin round very daintily and sort of skip, almost, like not literally skipping, but sort of that bouncy walk through to the back room. I assume you will follow?
Of course.
Okay.
Yep.
Indeed.
So this house is very deceptive. It looked very small on the outside, but inside it's fairly large. And she walks you through a couple of rooms and a bit of a corridor, and you come to a conservatory that's very bright and looks So normally a conservatory is obviously metal and glass. This is actual trees and glass. So the trees themselves have built themselves up to be this conservatory for them. And laying curled up, semi-asleep, is Samuel, and next to him is a slightly larger white bear, not asleep, highly interested about the people that have just walked in. And Adelaide will turn to you and go, obviously that's Samuel, you all know who Samuel is, and this is Sarah, this is my bear. But you have obviously came to speak to Samuel, so me and Sarah will leave you to it. And she'll go, come on, darling, out we go. Let's leave them to it. And she'll usher Sarah back into the house the way that she came.
I actually will stop her for a moment. And I'm going to look at Sarah and say, is he doing all right? He's not being too much of a trouble for you, has he?
Sarah will look at you and go, no, he's lovely. He's really polite and well-mannered and very young, but that's fine. He'll learn. Talks about you all the time and all of your friends. I think he was hoping to go on an adventure, but he does say he likes it here, and I do believe him. He's not lying. But yeah, he's doing okay.
Thank you for looking after him. He needs a bit of a guidance, and I'm glad that we were able to find someone such as yourself.
You're welcome. All young people need guidance, especially those that have been by themselves for a long time. And she will then follow Adelaide out. At that point, Samuel has woken up and spotted you all and comes bounding over to you and Lavinia and sort of sits right in front of you and looks straight at you and goes, have you come to take me on an adventure?
Easy there. Let's go and have a talk. Come on.
And before
Usher.
he follows you, he'll look and he'll spot Cecilia and go, who's she?
A friend. Go say hello.
And he'll walk up to Cecilia and give you a bit of sniff and goes, you smell like she does. You smell like the sea.
How very perceptive of you.
Okay, and he will go, okay, I said hello now, I'm going back, and he'll wander off back over to you.
At which point I'm going to lean over to Cecilia with a playful smile and say, oh, I forgot to mention, he's a bear.
I was quiet and give her that sort of like straight face look going, yeah, you probably should have mentioned that a little bit sooner.
So,
I'm assuming the conversation between Russell and Samuel is going on in Beast, yeah?
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, but he understands, like, he speaks common if memory serves.
He understands common. I don't know if he speaks common. I can't remember if I said he spoke common. I'll say he speaks common, it's fine. So the bit between you and him was in Beast, but the bit where he went up to Cecilia and went, you smell like her, you smell like the sea, is in common.
In that case, I will say, for the sake of the others, should we talk in common?
Do we have to?
Well, if you're dealing with people, it's sometimes a good idea to talk in their own language.
Fine.
Makes them a bit easier to get.
Fine. So, where are we going?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? We're not quite too sure ourselves.
I believe
And
our path will take us north to Shadbear.
Oh, well, it's like it's meant to be then. You're going to a place called Bear. I'm a bear. I can come with you.
thing is, are you really sure you want to come with us?
Why wouldn't I?
Well, the places we're going are not nice. I mean, we were in that place, you saw what it was like, and I mean, some of the people we were dealing with, if it weren't for Miss Lavinia there, I would not be here to speak to you now.
Then I should be coming because I can help protect you.
Thing is, I don't think I could deal with it if that would happen to you.
But it won't happen to me. I'm a bear.
That you are. That you are. Look,
No, how about we let you come with us, but if we tell you that you need to hide or withdraw, you have to promise that you will do so. I wouldn't want to see you get hurt either.
I don't know if I could promise that. He'll look at you and go, I mean, I'm okay here. It's nice, I like it. Sarah's nice. Adelaide's nice. Stephen's nice. I like it here. I just miss you guys. But if you think it'd be better for me to stay, I can stay. As long as you promise to come see me.
I think you're happy here, yes?
I will be. I'll get there. It's different at the moment. I don't like different. But I can see myself being happy here.
You and Sarah have a good time, don't you?
Yeah, she's like an older sister.
I spoke with her. She seems nice.
She's a bit bossy sometimes.
Well, she's a sister, isn't she?
Is that what they do? I don't know. I've never had one before.
I'd imagine that's what they're like. Look, tell you what. Stay here for a bit. We'll go off and deal with this stuff that needs to be dealt with. And we'll come back round, alright? I'll check in every so often. Might take the messages a while to get here, but I'll check in.
Okay. As long as you promise. Don't leave me here and never come back.
Now, how the hell am I supposed to do that? You're one of us.
I'm one of you. What's one of you?
You're a bear with good intentions.
I like that. Okay. I'm a bear with good intentions. And my good intentions at the moment are to stay here.
Stay here, learn, grow strong, and make sure that you're keeping them safe. They're strong, But I know you're strong too, so keep an eye on them, would you?
I will do. And he'll walk up to you and sort of headbutt your leg a bit, sort of like a cat does when it's trying to be affectionate round your ankles.
I will lean down and just sort of grab him, just in a hug.
And he will let you for all of about 2 seconds, and then he will pull away. And he will go and do the same to Ladinia.
I'm just going to take his hand and just hold it, gently before letting go.
Okay. And then he will walk up to Cecilia and sort of cock his head to one side and decide that you're okay and start headbutting you as well.
Kind of taken off guard with a headbutt, just like, why you look.
Not in a bad way, but in the affectionate way like he did with the other two.
Yeah, I know, but it should be kind of like, oh, okay, getting used to it, and then
Okay.
fuck, you get a headbutt, you're like, ow, little shit. Not like aggressively,
Yeah.
but off guard, kind of.
And he'll look at you and Russell and Ladinia and go, just keep an eye on Demon Boy. Still don't trust him.
I had to pin him down as a spider the other day, so don't worry, I've got my eye on that one.
And I've already started measures to make sure we can keep him in control.
Even the bear's got suspicions. Just look at Linnea, just like,
Well, Samuel, it's getting late, and I'll let you get back to sleep. After all, need to be up bright and early to keep an eye on this lot.
Okay. I'll say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
One thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna take a small pouch from my bag, and I'm gonna stuff some of the component scent that I use, some of the scents from my little components pouch into it, string it shut, and just loop it around his neck.
He'll give it a smell and goes, smells like home.
Anytime you need me, just ask Adelaide to contact me. She'll be able to get in touch.
Will do.
I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon, Samuel. And I'm gonna give him one last hug and then walk out.
Okay. Do the other two follow as well?
Yeah, just a smile as I'm leaving.
On the way out, Adelaide will stop you and go, he'll be okay. We'll take care of him. Sarah's teaching him how to be a bear. Obviously, he's not been able to be that before, so we'll get there. But if you ever got any questions, any concerns, send us a message or send Elmer a message, and we'll answer as soon as we can. In the meantime, I have a feeling you're going on a journey, so here, take some of this. And she'll hand you a couple of loaves of freshly baked bread and some herbs from the garden and some fresh vegetables, and she'll go, they'll last a while. There's a bit of magic to them.
Russell will wipe his eyes and happily accept, sort of, thank you. If he, I'll send him messages every so often. I said I would. If he asks for us, would you be able to get in touch with me? I understand, have some ability in that same way that Elmer and I do.
A little bit less powerful than that, but if I cannot get hold of you, I will send message to Elmer.
Thank you. You may find animals turning up with little bits of parchment. Just if they're addressed to him, just read them to him, would you?
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping an eye on him. And thank you too, referring to Sarah. He can be a pain, but thank you.
You're welcome. It's nice to have another bear around.
And I will gather up the stuff and say, well, we best be on our way, right?
Yes, we should take a rest at the inn and then miles to go before the next adventure.
Let's go then. Goodbye, Adelaide.
Goodbye. We'll look after him, we promise. And if he needs you at all, we'll let you know.
All right. Russell will grab his things and walk out.
As we're walking back, I'm just going to walk up to Russell, kind of just link arms with him and lean against him, just for a bit of support.
Okay. So, do you guys make your way to the tavern?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm glad this place is healer's going to need a drink.
A little bit too wholesome for her today, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
The other group, are you popping into the across the street bakery?
If possible.
Yeah, if it's still open.
Yep. As Doc said, it's still open. Quiet. There's no one in there. But yeah, it's looks like by day it's like a cafe, and at night she tries to turn it into this almost nightclub feely place. Doesn't work very well. But the lady that greets you, let me grab her because I do actually have a picture of her. There you go. You should be able to see her.
Yep.
Yeah. So she's a dwarf, fiery redhead. Has what you'd normally associate with someone running a cafe, sort of strapped around her. So mug in one hand, she's cleaning out, and she sees you coming in. She goes, "Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. What can I do for you?"
We're directed this way to hopefully get some provisions for travel.
Oh, of course. What sort of things were you thinking of? Food and drink. I don't have any of the actual sort of rope or anything like that nonsense, but I can provide you food and drink. Have a seat, have a seat.
I believe we need probably food, rations and water for 6 people for probably about 3 days.
And she pulls out a little notepad and a pencil and starts noting it down. And starts doing calculation. Water. I could probably do that for about 25 silver.
That'll be fine, and Draxus will hand over 25 silver.
Okay. She will take it and goes, "Can I interest you in anything just now? Or is it just the provisions you're looking for?"
Yeah, Draxus will look at the other two.
I'll kind of go to her and say, what's the What's the most popular thing that you sell?
Well, the local red wine is always a hit if you're not looking for something alcoholic. We do a very nice apple juice. Food wise, our pastries are always incredibly popular.
Which pastry in particular? Can I get 6 of those? 6?
Yes, of course. We do our most popular pastry is probably our apricot swirl. I can get you 6 of those. That would be 1 silver and 6 copper.
Of course. And I'll hand over the 1 silver and copper.
Okay, she goes, you sit here, enjoy, I will be right back. Do you need those pastries to go, or are you wanting them on a plate on the table?
To go, please.
I will say Draxus was really awkward and gave her 250 worth of copper.
I was thinking just that, but no.
That's fine, she's fine with that. I can always do with the change. It's fantastic. And so she'll wander off and leave you in the rather interesting looking cafe. Takes her probably 2-3 minutes, but she comes back out. She hands Ashida a very pretty wrapped, so white box with a very pretty sort of rainbow bow tying it up, and she will hand you in 2 big jugs water enough for the travel, and then she's separated it out into 6, but 6 bags of rations. She goes, there you go, gentlemen.
Perfect, thank you.
As an aside,
Hmm?
apricot.
Yes, apricot.
No custard?
No.
Mm. Cool. Sorry, I cut you off there.
It's alright. Just cut me off to moan about my cooking in an imaginary game. It's fine. And she'll go, well, I do hope wherever you're adventuring to, it will be a very pleasant journey. It'll certainly be more pleasant now you've got my food and drink with you. And do happen to tell everyone you meet about the place, if you would. Obviously, it's very quiet now, but we haven't been open very long, and I'm hoping we will be so popular by the time you next return.
Of course. Good evening. And again, a nod and start heading out after sort of probably giving Nico most of the stuff to carry.
Yeah, Nico just bundle it up in his hand and carry it.
Okie pokey. And you guys make your way back to the tavern?
Yep.
Okay. I'll say you actually all meet up pretty much the same time. You all go to literally walk in the door together. All 6 of you. The walk in the tavern's been gone back to being fairly quiet again. Not really much going on. Just Lasser behind the bar welcomes you back in, going, welcome back.
Draxus will dish out the 3 days of rations to each person, and go to Lisa and ask. We were told that you might do some basic supplies and such.
Depends what you're looking for. I have a few items. What was it you were considering?
Pretty much just looking for probably a couple of water skins, some rope, and maybe a bedroll.
I could probably do all that for about a gold piece.
I can do that, and he gives him 10 silver coins.
Thank you very much. And he'll wander out the back and he'll come back with the water skins, the rope, and the bedroll. And hand it over to you. Was there anything else I could do this evening? Dinner? Drinks? You've got the same beds. I've made sure to keep the same beds for you. A couple of new people up there, but they won't bother you. I think they're fast asleep by now.
Could I have a couple of drinks, please?
Of course. What were you looking for?
Just I think it's a couple of ales.
Okay.
Have you still got that wash bowl at the back?
Yes. Water has just been changed as well.
I think I might go and make use of it if that's all right.
Of course. Do you want me to keep your ales here?
Please do. And I'll slap down a good few silver on the counter.
Oh, no. We've had strict instructions from Martin. Everything is on the town. Do take it away.
If you're sure. And he'll lift it and sort of stumble off into the back area.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to watch him go before walking to the garden. Can I get another glass of red wine, please?
He will pour you a glass of red wine and hand it over to you.
Many thanks. And head over to one of the seats.
Oh, I've bought something for everyone. I'll take out the pastries and kind of give them one out to everyone. I'll keep one for Russell once he comes back. Just looked really interesting, and apparently it's very highly recommended.
I glance over to the bartender and say, is it okay that we have these? I know you provide food usually.
Pastries are fine. My hands are not light enough for pastry. I tend to ruin it. So I am fine with you bringing in food from somewhere else if it's pastry.
Much obliged. So I take a bite of it and how is it?
Actually, very, very good. The pastry is light and fluffy and flaky. That's me trying to use words I don't use very often. And the apricot is just sweet enough and just tart enough to not be either too sickly or too sour. It's really, really nice.
I'm gonna really relish my one.
Delightful. Where did you get these from?
It was a shop that opened up recently, where we got the rest of our supplies. And they had this, and I thought maybe for all the trouble I've been putting you guys through, it's time I attempt to repay a bit of it.
Very sweet gesture. We also managed to procure some items and some bread, some vegetables, some herbs. Apparently mildly enchanted to extend the lifespan.
Fantastic. So then shall we leave at dawn to make the most of the day and the lights?
Yes. Draxus will get food after that, and then he'll sit in his corner and identify the orb.
Nico's gonna sit right in front of Draxus, just waiting for him to identify it.
So yeah, you identify it, and this is a scrying orb. The actual magical item, and not the magical component.
How did things go with Arton, by the way?
Seeing as Draxus and Nico are otherwise predisposed, I'm like, things went okay. Yeah, but there was not much else to say about it. We just informed them about the situation.
And Samuel seems to be content where he is. He's learning from a bear how to be a bear. So that's nice for him. We decided it would be best for him to stay there for a little while longer at least.
That's a good decision. How do you feel about that?
To be honest, I think Russell's taking it hardest. I know he wants him to be happy, but I think at the same time you want him to come along. So, yes, conflicting emotions.
I guess usually making good decisions are always going to be difficult. And I think this was a good decision for the bear in the long run.
We of course have plans to come back to see him occasionally, and I feel we might be coming back to this area anyway, so it'll be no hardship for us.
Cecilia, in the back of your head, you do get a voice going, "You should ask the Dragonborn what the ring does."
Well, trying to answer that meant like maybe when there's less people around, so that not to draw suspicion. Dumb fuck. Draxus,
Yes.
would you, when you get a spare moment, mind if we spoke in private?
Draxus will look. Apart from Nico, is anybody else sitting at the same table? I know Russell's gone outside.
Did you move away from Ladinia and Ashida?
I don't know. Draxus just went and sat in his normal seat. He's just gone a complete Sheldon and just went my spot.
So Ladinia and Ashida, would you be sitting at the same table, or would you have sat elsewhere?
Did Draxus part his little screen?
Pardon, I couldn't hear you properly.
Has Draxus pulled out his little screen to do his identifying?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then I would have sat elsewhere to not disturb him.
So no, then at your table is just you and Nico.
Is this not private enough for you?
If I look around, there's definitely no one within eyeshot of seeing what the ring would be if I was to pull it out.
Make me a perception check. No, as far as you can see, there's no one in eyeshot of the of the screen. The screen's keeping it fairly hidden, so you know if you sort of move your hand around just so that no one else in the room would be able to see.
I take the little ring box out and goes, well, would you mind be able to check over something just in the off chance it might have properties I'm not aware of? And open the ring up, the ring box up.
Actually has a look and reaches in, picks up the ring, sort of like rolls it between his fingers a bit. I can have a look. And he sort of just looks at you and just sort of waves his hand for you to back away.
2 steps back.
And sort of places all his stuff and pops it on the table in front of him, books to the side, and again does his whole arcane runes in the air as he spins his little pearl. The runes shrink and sink onto it, and then he has it, and it hovers above the item as a beam of light shines on it, and all the runes from the ring slowly drift up, and then a beam of light touches towards Draxus's head as he processes it and does identify on it.
And I have popped the item into your area. So you should be able to see it, Draxus.
He is. Give me a sec.
So meanwhile, while Traz is reading the essay, does anyone else want to be doing anything else?
Well, he's identifying it, so Cecilia would just take a side step towards the bar and go, rum, do you have any?
Of course, what kind of inn would I be if I did not? And he will pull you up 2 rums.
Bottle, if you wouldn't mind.
He will hand you the bottle.
Thank you. Go like a half curtsy, and immediately pull the cork out with the teeth and just walk back over to Nico and Draxus's table.
Cool.
After kind of having the pastry and a bit of food, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna excuse myself and go to the tree I was sitting underneath the day before, and again, kind of meditate. Try to see if I can maybe force out this presence, like to actually have a conversation with it, or if I can just maintain control of if I do force it out, if I can maintain control of it.
You try and nothing.
Okay, I'll try for like an hour or so before like bedtime, and I just go straight to bed.
Cool.
So after the 10 minutes, the light stops and Draxus grabs the pearl and pops it back down in a little pull cord bag he has for it. Pops it away, picks up the ring. Very intriguing. Not for my line of magic, but I assume that's the whole point. I hand you it. It allows you to, or helps you, well, you mark someone and gives you some bonuses to finding it, harming it, hitting it, or other.
Should I link? Should I?
Yeah, directors will just spiel out pretty much everything, but
There you go now, Scott. If you go into your PC items drop down list, you should be able to see it.
Okay.
That's the one.
Cool. Thank you. At which point you'll take the ring back and say thank you very much.
as he looks up, I assume he would notice that she'd just gone to bed.
He will notice he's gone. He won't know where he's gone to.
Fair enough. With that, I don't think there's anything else Praxis would really do. Probably pack up all his stuff, and he'd probably go sit outside. If there's like a little back garden or a little beer garden type thing with a little bench, he'll go sit outside and just like look up at the stars for a while.
Nico was just sitting at the table in front of you, waiting for you to tell him what the orb was, like all night.
True. Sorry. As he packs up and gets ready to go outside, he sort of takes notice of you. He's just used to you just sitting there staring quite a lot. Yeah. Scrying orb, way of keeping an eye on someone with reasoning without them knowing. I'm not exactly sure the purpose why he was sat there. Was it hers to use, or was it another? And he looks around, make sure nobody really listening. Another gift or something, a taunt.
Is it something that we can use, or is it something for the future?
It's definitely something that's useful. As I say, anybody can focus on it and think about a person as long as they're in the same plane of existence as you. You should be able to see you should be able to see them wherever they are. Varying degrees on what you see around them, but it allows you to spy on people basically, if you know who they are generally.
Well, can't we use it to spy on him?
As I say, this is Tobacco. I'm pretty sure it can only work on your plane of existence.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So yeah, you say no, it don't. If he truly is in the Feywild, then no. But
what if he's not?
true.
What if he's been and he's come back? What if he's next door? What if he's down the road? Surely either you check in, it doesn't work, or you check in, it works.
Draxus nods, sits back down in his corner, and holds the orb and concentrates.
So as you concentrate on the orb, you start feeling sort of like you're floating through air, and then nothing. You get the impression that it's not connecting with him.
No, he's not here. He's still there. So,
Well, at least now we know.
whatever. Yes. We'll have one more attempt at thinking about Jane.
Again, same thing. Can't feel it connect.
For the check.
You sure the thing's not busted?
Stop to think for a moment. And he will. He's like, who do I look at then? He stops
What
and thinks.
about the Kenku or the woman I saw today?
Yeah, he's gonna sit down and think about the Kenku then.
Okay. That one, you go flying through the air. You just catch yourself going through what you assume is Lady Gwyneth's house, as it's bright purple for a split second. And you focus in, you see Bark, the Kenku, asleep on a little pile of straw and hay in the basement of Lady Gwyneth's house.
He doesn't spend more than. He sort of walks around, looks at it for. I don't know how you're doing it, but he just sort of floats there for a moment, looking at him, and then comes back out, and Nico will probably be able to tell that he's got a bit of more of a pissed off look about him now.
That won't work.
Yep, that one worked.
We'll save him, you know, eventually. Once you've learnt a little bit more, I'll continue to help you as much as I can. We'll come back and we'll
We
save
could
him.
help him right now, couldn't we? But you say to be good and help people.
Trust me, in the long run, it's going to pay off. I mean, what if we reach our end goal? We do what we set out to do, and then what happens after that? You know, you still got a whole life to live. You don't want to spend your time now, you know, making more enemies.
I've got enough of the future to deal with at the minute. He's not the only thing on my mind when it comes to the future. But it's better to think of tomorrow than too far.
I'm not gonna pry, but whatever you got going on, whatever you need, yeah, you've got me. Um, I'm not gonna do that thing that I do again anytime soon. I wanna help you um, for a little while longer.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you've learned it doesn't quite work all the time. Well, it hasn't worked at all. It just means there's more aggro for me to deal with it.
Exactly. That that orb you've got, are you gonna keep that a secret? Because I don't know, other people in this group might have people they want to look at. I know when we leave, it seems like Russell's gonna miss Samuel quite a lot. That would be cool if he could check in on him. Maybe Ladinia could use it to see her family. Unless you're keeping it a secret, then that's totally fine too.
I suppose there's no real point me keeping it as a secret from them. Russell did manage to steal it for us, and if it wasn't for Lydia telling me what she managed to work out, I was ready just to leave there. So, and as you and Spyro keep moaning at me to be nice and get along with others, I assume that's a good first step.
Yeah, maybe offer it to Ladinia tomorrow. See if she wants to check in on her family.
Fair enough. But there's only so many uses a day can be done.
Yeah, it's just a nice gesture, I think. She may not want to, you never know, but if she does, it'll be a nice gesture.
Fine. I need to get some air. Oh, I'll be heading up shortly. Draxus will grab his stuff and step outside and just lay down on a bench and just stare up at the stars.
Okay. So, before we call it there for the evening, and I say everyone's getting a long rest, does anyone want to do anything before going to bed?
This city's on the river, isn't it?
Pardon?
Is this city on the river?
It is, yes.
Okay. So after a couple of glasses of wine, then you're going to go down to the river, try and find a couple of large fish and convince them to take letters as far out to sea as possible and pass them on to others. One for her brother and one for her mother.
Make me a nature check with advantage.
It is possibly tracking thing if I can
Okay.
demand fish to do things for me as long as it's not too outlandish.
Yep, I'm trying to see if you find a fish, to be fair. It wasn't it's fine, it wasn't a very high DC, to be fair. So yes, it's a very small fish, the one you find. You only managed to find the one. It's a very small little goldfish, but it takes your letter and starts swimming away with it.
Right after doing that, yeah, I'm just going to head to bed.
Okay. Any more for any more?
Cecilia will put the ring on and just polish off that bottle of rum and then head to bed afterwards.
Cool.
Russell is going to scale the building, get up to sort of roof level, turn into a wolf, sort of gazing off in the direction of that woods and just hunker down for the night.
Cool.
Ishida will just finish up his thing and just go to straight to bed.
Cool beans. So I think is that everyone?
Yeah, Nico's just going to bed.
Yeah, and Jackson spends probably an hour just sitting outside staring at the sky for a while and then goes to bed.
Cool. So yep, you all tuck yourself into bed at your own time, and that is where we will call it for this evening. So I will say night stream.
Night stream.
Night stream.
Night stream.